Hey, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Just got here in time? Well, I literally just started. Welcome to those watching on the tube. Hey, can you let me know if it's laggy or skipping in the tube? I keep seeing that it might be doing so. Um, yeah, it might be. I just can't tell. Just let me know, hand IC, and there. Let me know if it's skipping, lagging, or anything like that. If so, I'm gonna have to start using an Ethernet cord, cable, whatever it's called. All right, it's not. We're good. Cool. All right. Anyways, hello to those in TikTok. Chance Wilkins. No idea who that is. Chance Wilkins. Hey, Kristen. How are you? All right. This was sort of like a on the spot live. I guess all my lives are on the spot, but. But yeah, for those watching on the tube, hello. Make sure you guys subscribe to me. For the people in TikTok, if you can, if you have a second device, or even if you just have one device, if you can watch on the tube for a little bit, and at the very least subscribe, like, comment, that type of stuff, that would be great. Just trying to get a bit of a following over there and trying to get it going. Um, but everybody else on TikTok, if you guys can start tapping and sharing, and make sure you guys send in your heart mate, that would be great. And I did make a live schedule, guys. I know I said I was almost never going to do that because I can't commit to something, but I just figured that was going to be best if I want to kind of make this a long-term thing that I want to grow. So I did make a live schedule. You can see it. It's in my, well, I guess it's not in this profile. I have to put it in, or no, is it? I put it in my main one for sure. Let me check. Okay, I didn't put it in my backup account, the account I'm on right now. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to copy and paste it into there. But yes, I am going to now have a live schedule. So you guys know exactly when I will be live. So that way I'm not going to have to post in Discord anymore if I'll be live in 30, 40. I'm not going to do that shit anymore, okay? I'm just going to be live at certain times, certain days. You can see the schedule in my bio. I'm going to post it in this bio, though, because it's in my main account at the moment. All right, 1 second here. There we go. All right, cool. We're good. All right. Anyways, if you are in opposition, come on up, okay? Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good, man. What's your age before we move forward? All right. What's on your mind? You speaking? If you're speaking, I can't hear you. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. You were speaking, and then all of a sudden it stopped. Can you guys hear him? Yeah, if you're speaking, man, I can't hear you. Okay. Dude, you're not speaking anymore. Yeah, just come back, okay? You can hear me, that's fine. You truly think they hate all this? Yeah, Chet, come on up. We'll talk about it. Salt, come on up. We'll talk about it. I'm not going to debate you through the comments. Did I delete your chat? No. I have much better things to do than delete people's chats in the tube. No. I need all the chats I can get there because I am literally just starting to build it up. So no, I would never delete a chat there. Now, I don't know if there's restrictions on the tube in terms of what you can type. If you type something that maybe doesn't meet their terms of service, maybe that was it. Yeah, Nate, come on up. I know, you hate trans people. I get it. I know, you hate trans people. Come on up. We all get it. You hate the fucking 12 trans people that play in sports. They live rent-free in your head. You can't stop thinking about trans people. We all get it. I don't think Nate's gonna come on up. He's gonna puss out and hide in the comments. That's exactly what he's gonna do. One is missing. Ricky, I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't get rid of one of your comments, so I don't know what to tell you. And guys, this is I think my last day on this backup account, so we'll just have to bear through. Again, a bit of a low viewership. It is what it is, so we shall deal with it. Kent, come on up. Not gonna debate you through the comments. Come up or shut up. And again, guys, if the people watching, if you can sub to me on the tube, that would be great. It's Dougielifts. And if you have a second device, it would be even better if you can watch on that account or on that second device and comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It was misinformation. Oh, there's always a lot of keyboard warriors. They come in here, they leave a comment or do, and then just run away. That's all they do. Well, that is it. Hello, Linda. How are you? Ricky, I don't see anything about 82%. I don't know what you're talking about. 82% what? Yeah, Ricky, I don't know what you're talking about. All I see is I'll sub if you answer my question on 82%, and then you say Western ideology includes the EU. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Use full sentences and maybe I'll respond. It's not MAGA, it's few people. Incorrect. Incorrect. If you vote for Trump, you're voting for policies that uphold the hatred. And why is it that every single time I have someone that yells out different slurs, it's always Trump supporters? Why is it that every time I have an LGBT plus topic, I have numerous ones of them that say they hate lesbians or gay people or trans people or immigrants? Many of that just flat out admit it. The others just vote for it. Colton, come up or shut up. Oh, look, we got a guest. How about that? Hello. Do you think it's possible to survive in America without a job? Do you think it's possible to survive in America without a job? Well, then how can I Well, do you think it's possible to survive anywhere without a job? Okay. Well, considering I live in a house, how is it possible that I don't have a job? Considering I'm living in a house right now, how do I not have a job? What's the definition of a job? That's actually well, it's a very relevant question. What's the definition of a job? What's the definition of a job? Should be. Considering you're talking about considering you're talking about jobs, it's probably good that we know the definition of a job, you know? Well, what's the definition of a job, considering you think... What's the definition of a job? What's the definition of a job? Well, then why are we doing this then? If we're just going to ask questions back and forth and neither of us are going to answer them. Right, so what's the definition of a job? 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 Well, you don't seem to know. You don't seem to know. That's why I'm asking you. What's the definition of a job? You guys can barely hear me? Oh, look, yet another audio issue. Not a fucking day that goes by where I don't have an audio issue. Wonderful. I don't know what these British words mean, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what these British words mean. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Alright, I don't like you. Fuck off. Can you guys hear me now? Is it better? Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Sounds good. Alright, yeah, I don't know what these British words mean, so I like just... Alright, I think I had the audio thing on wrong or something. No, I don't think that's what it was, Party Monster. I don't think it was the fact that he was louder or anything. I think I had my audio setting on something else, so I believe that was probably it. I don't know what Dean Withering's you means, but you can come on up, Frida. You're welcome to come up. Hey, what's up? Not much. Hey, can you guys hear me, by the way, in the comments? I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Alright, what's up, man? It sure does, that's the point. Okay. What's the perversion of science? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, you mean assigned at birth? You mean assigned at birth? Yeah. well, let's talk about one thing at a time. So that let's stick on the LGBT plus. Yeah, I don't think people on the right traditionally care about even lesbian, gay, sexual, bisexual people. I think if they do, they're behind the curve on it. They didn't do it until it was after the fact. They never did it in the 80s, 90s, thousands. They only really started doing it after gay marriage was legalized, after it was very convenient to advocate for it. They never do, conservatives never advocate for social issues when it's not convenient, right? When we're talking about slavery, conservatives never advocated for not slavery before it was convenient. Jim Crow laws, gay rights, and same with trans stuff. Now, in 20, 30 years, when people moved on from trans issues to something else, you guys will say, hey, we're all for trans stuff. We're just not for whatever the fuck the new issue is going to be in 20, 30 years. So I think conservatives are always behind the curve. Yeah, not by conservatives. Yeah. Well, not conservatives, progressives. Yeah, progressives, not conservatives. You're telling me no conservatives in the 90s, your average conservative in the 80s, 90s, thousands was not for gay marriage. Like, this is pretty well known. I, yeah. How does that prove conservatives were for gay marriage? How does a court case prove that? I mean, you're welcome to do that, but you and I grew up in the 90s, so I don't know where you were, but my stepdad was conservative. He wasn't even a far right conservative. He thought being gay was a choice. He didn't believe in gay marriage. He shared the very, very typical view of a conservative in the late 90s, early thousands. Until, again, now it's convenient for him to say, oh, I was for it the whole time. No, you fucking weren't, dude. No, you fucking weren't. Now, when it comes to trans people, science changes, man. Like, you can say, like, well, thousands of years ago, well, when I was younger, we all thought we all knew the earth was flat, but now all of the stuff is coming out that the earth is round. Why does it have to change? Same thing with this. Like, science develops over time, man. What is it about trans people that you find to be against science? I know, I've heard this argument a million times. I've heard this. I know. This is a age-old argument by you guys. That's sex. We're not talking about sex. We're talking about gender. But what's wrong with transgender people that you now draw the line at that? No, it's 1%. It's 1%. It's a low percent, but it's 1%. 0.002. That's what they said about slavery. That's what they said about slavery. About, oh, if we got rid of slavery, it's going to harm all of these things. Well, conservatives were pro-slavery. Are you serious? I'm not talking about party. Hey. We're talking about ideology. What's the definition of conservatives? No. We're not going to back away from that. What is the definition of conservative? Bro, the background noise is wild. Okay. What is the definition? What is the definition of conservative? Uh-huh. And okay. Keeping traditional values, being resistant to change. I'm going to pull up the definition here. Give me a moment. Jesus, the background noise. All right, give me a second. All right, here we go. So, definition of a conservative. All right, averse to change or innovation, holding traditional values. So let me ask you this. During the time of slavery, do you think it would have been holding traditional values to free the slaves or keep the slaves? And be honest. Don't be intellectually honest with your answer here. Okay. But again, averse to change. Do you think do you think being against slavery was averse to change? They were against change, right? Okay, so that's conservative. Now, when we look at the definition of progressive, it's a person advocating or implementing social reform or new ideas. So, do you think freeing slaves was implementing social reform and new ideas? Or do you think it was being against change? Okay, so that's progressive. So when we're talking about the idea of freeing slaves, that was a progressive value at the time. Right? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the party that had that. I think you're thinking too much in like football teams. You're thinking, well, Democrats. We're talking about ideology, right? So well, they can, but this idea that freeing slaves was not was or not a progressive idea is just wild. It's just completely antithetical to the definition. Like, I don't know how you guys argue this. I think you guys just don't want to look bad and realize that, oh gosh, my conservative values have been shitty across fucking all time periods. I think that's what it is, really. Not typically. Where parties change over time. The Republican Party now, put it this way, the Republican Party in the early 2000s would throw up all over the place if they saw how you guys looked right now. If the Republican Party in the thousands saw that they put somebody in charge who's upholding rapists and trying to protect child rapists, you guys would be besides yourself. But here you are voting for someone who is trying to protect child rapists. And that doesn't seem to just bother you at all. Like when I bring it up, it's like, whatever. Where I get the idea that he hasn't released Epstein files when legally they were supposed to well over a month ago, so therefore he is protecting child rapists. Nope, 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 nope. It was supposed to be released over a month ago. You want me to show you? You can show it, but you're not going to change your mind? No. Are you denying that legally the Epstein files were supposed to be released over a month ago? That Trump signed the bill? Hello? We're not going to get past this. We're not going to get past the fact that you are upholding child rapists. I'm sorry, you are. You can deny it all you want, but you are. And that's why I think Trump supporters are just awful, despicable human beings. Are you denying the fact that you guys that Trump was supposed to release it over a month ago, that he signed the bill to release it? Do you want me to show you that? I want you to answer the question. Are you denying that they were supposed to release it a month ago? He signed the bill, but he's not allowing them to release it. But why hasn't it been released? By the majority Republican Congress? Well, who's the majority in Congress right now? Everyone, all the Democrats voted for to release it. Do you want me to show you the vote? And are you going to change your mind when I show it to you? What Democrats in Congress are supposed to release it? Or what Democrats in Congress were in the files? Clinton's not in Congress. Clinton's not in Congress. Yeah, do you think that I want to protect Clinton? I don't want to protect Clinton. If Clinton is in it, put him in jail for the rest of his life. But here's the thing: if Trump's in it, you want him to still be president. That's the difference between you and me. Well, we already we already know Trump's in it. The small percent that's been released, he's been in it. I didn't say none of it's been released. I said 1% of it's released. They didn't release the remaining 99%. All right, I'm going to ask you to read something here. What does it say right here? $427 to 1 vote. So do you want to tell me again how Democrats voted against it? So why haven't they released it then, if it was voted 427 to 1 to release it? I know, you don't have any answers now. You have to now come to terms that you voted for a child rapist protector. Can you tell me why he hasn't released it when it was voted 427 to 1 to be released? It wasn't released. If it's released, where the fuck is it, buddy? If it's released, where the fuck is it? Who's in government? Who's in charge of the executive? Hey, no, we are not going to get past this. Who is in government right now? Who's in charge? Great. So you said ask the government. They're the government. So can we ask Trump why it hasn't been released? And why hasn't it been released? There is no barricade reason. They were voted to release it. Trump's in charge. He can release it right now if he wanted to. Why hasn't he? Other than the most obvious answer that he wants to protect the people in there. Give me some other logical reason as to why he is keeping it from being released. Oh, you mean the Dean Withers thing? The thing where you're being proven wrong and you're being forced to face your shit fuck ideology? That thing? Oh, so maybe you should learn how to fucking research things and stop coming up with lies when you're totally uneducated. So let's go to releases. Under the Epstein-File Transparency Act, which I told you already was passed 427 to 1, was signed into law by President Trump in November. The DOJ was required to release the Epstein files by December 19th. We are past January 19th, which is well over a month ago. The department began releasing materials that day, but the Trump administration admitted that it wouldn't share all of the documents by the deadline, claiming that the scale of the redactions needed to protect victims' identities would delay the release. Since then, the department has released a few batches of documents related to it, but it has been a week since the most recent of those batches were made public, and earlier this month, the DOJ officials revealed that more than 2 million documents have yet to be shared, meaning less than 1% of the Epstein files have been released. So, can you give an explanation on that? But it is. Wait, the DOJ. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull this up again since you weren't reading it. All right, the department began releasing materials that day, but the Trump administration admitted that it wouldn't share all the documents by the deadline. He's in charge of the DOJ. He's running them. There's nothing blocking it. They voted it. Why hasn't it been released? They don't have to show the victims, devil in the chat. They can show everything else by keeping the victims anonymous. Can you give me a valid reason as to why these haven't been released, other than the most obvious, that he wants to protect most likely himself, but also likely other people that he knows that he doesn't want uh, getting in trouble for this? Okay. 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 Do you think it's possible that Trump is in the e-files and he just doesn't want people to know? Is that a possibility? Okay. But you know the parts that have been released, he is in them. Some parts of it. Well, yeah, there was a passage of him in it where Jeffrey E. brought a 14-year-old to him and asked if she's a good one, quote unquote, and he smiled and said yes. And then she testified that she felt very uncomfortable at the time. Do you think that might be a little sketchy? She was 14 because she testified, because at that age she would have been 14 by the year of it. What's your problem with undocumented immigrants? So you're telling me an undocumented immigrant was more qualified at his job than you were? Okay. Whatever it is you want to believe. Okay. Now go on to the actual example, beyond your personal one. You are. You do have to be. Yeah. Yeah. What does this have to do with undocumented immigrants? They can't vote. Can you provide evidence that they do? Can you show that undocumented immigrants have voted? Wait, you realize that for the ones without valid ID, you have to get registered with using an ID and all of your information, right? That you can't just walk in and just be nobody and vote. Is that your interpretation of that? No, there is not. This is the where, yeah, okay. Okay. There's no states where that's allowed. Just because some states don't have voter ID, that doesn't mean that you can't have been identified prior to. Because in order to be registered, you have to have an identification and a lot of other information, by the way. And then when you go into those polls, just because it may not be an ID, you still have to provide your information to confirm that you were registered to begin with. But you're welcome to provide evidence otherwise. All right. All right. Well, let me get to some of the other guests because you said you want to come back when you have some evidence. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. You can give me a follow if you want, but you're welcome to come back when you have like a computer and all that. All right, man. All right. We're gonna get to the next one, but before we do, if you guys can tap and share, can you give me a follow here? If you can, that'd be great because this is my backup account. So if you already follow me on my main, just make sure you follow me here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the tube. It's Dougielifts. Also, guys, I did put out a schedule of when I will be live moving forward. So it's never going to be random anymore. I have set days, set times that I'm going to be live. Just go ahead and go to my profile to check it on out, okay? Monday through Sunday, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday through Monday, it's going to be at noon. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's going to be at 8 a.m. all Eastern Time. Okay, but just look at my bio, you'll see when I'll be live. Hey, what's up? Not much. What's your age? Cool. What's up? Yeah, I'm asking MAGA, why do you hate? Yeah. No, you're good, man. No worries. No worries, man. You're good. You're good. Take care. You're good. Take care. That seems to happen once or twice alive. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I just need to know your age. What's your age? Yeah, you're good, man. Okay. I just need to know your age. What's your age? You're good. Okay, cool. All right, so what's up? It's a hot topic. Yeah. Who? What do you mean by? What do you mean by take it? Well, who thinks that? Who thinks? Who's advocating for that? I don't know any Democrat that believes that. There isn't. Well, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not about removing them. I don't know a single Democrat that's against undocumented immigrants being removed civilly and within the law. It's the manner in which it's being done. Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah, again, I think people don't have an issue with removing undocumented immigrants at all. It's the way it's being done, and that's why there's such an uproar that's being had right now because we see ICE agents just constantly doing things against the law, against the Constitution, with no repercussions whatsoever. It seems like they're just allowed to do whatever the hell they want. And per JD Vance, he said they have absolute immunity, and so they feel they can do whatever they want, and it seems like they are doing whatever they want, and that's the problem that's happening. And oh, big time, yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you disagree that that's the case, or? Well, but no, I don't. But like, he's aware of many of these things that are going on. The Trump administration in general is aware of these things that are going on. And they seemingly are doing nothing about it. And it's not the citizens that are creating a hostile environment. It's the ICE agents that are, right? Like, I mean, everything that they're constantly doing, not knowing how to de-escalate situations. In fact, escalating situations. Is causing a lot of this hostility to begin with, and given the fact that they have 6 weeks of training versus police officers getting 6 months of training, I don't think it's crazy to think that, like, yeah, they may not have enough training to know how to de-escalate things. But But why not though? I mean, yeah, it needs to happen, but they should have. But the Trump administration absolutely knew, and I think any reasonable person could have predicted that yes, there would have been lashback, there would have been protests, right, and that like that training should have been had for. No, I mean I prefer to have civil conversations. I, It happens. It happens a lot. It's very difficult to have conversations here, yes, because sometimes people come up angry off the bat, or maybe they're expecting me to yell at them off the bat, so they come in like that, possibly. But I do have some very civil and respectful conversations, not often though. More people. What was that last part? And I would say your average person in society, like, listen, like, I'm not naive to the fact that these streams bring up people that tend to have more so radical views, or they tend to be a lot more opinionated, right? Your average person who's not like super either way or super into politics obviously isn't going to come up here, right? So there's great to bias for those types of people. Sure. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe putting RFK in charge of the HHS. He himself said he thinks vaccines aren't helpful, aren't beneficial is his more specific word. So I think that's a very anti-science. When he spoke about Tylenol and that how it and that causes the things that causes, that was very much against the science. There was just no science backing that up. That it caused autism whatsoever. What else? I mean, his views on health and nutrition, which, maybe aren't as significant as some of these other topics, but his views on health and nutrition seem to be very, very off of the science. And also, too, I would say when it comes to the LGBT plus community, it seems to be very anti-science. And when it comes to abortion, I would say so as well. Global warming as well. Yeah. I would. Well, that comes to, I guess, to more of a philosophical debate of, I suppose, when a person is a person. So maybe that would be a little less science, a little more philosophy. But I still believe in, obviously, the rights of a woman in terms of her right to choose. But that wouldn't be more science based. So we could scrap that from the science thing, I suppose. But I would say more so the previous things I mentioned. I'm 33. Hmm. Wait, in the 80s you couldn't say gay? I to to say gay in what sense though? Like as a like that's so gay type of thing that was said all the time when I was. I mean, you might be a little older than me, but that was said pretty often. Being gay was frowned upon, yes, but obviously using the word gay or obviously the slur that starts with F that was not frowned upon. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. Okay, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, sure. Hmm. Yeah, it was a thing, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, a big I would say a pretty relatively big stigma. Yeah, for sure. It's a pretty pressing topic. Yeah. Mhm. It does scare people. I agree. I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah. Mhm. You don't have to. I see what you're trying to say. No, I don't think you have to understand it, but I think it's good to understand things and people and ideas that we don't exactly inherently understand because it helps us be a little more accepting, right? Like even me, for example, before I knew more about the trans community and the things involved with it, et cetera, I had a bit more negative views until I started surrounding myself and became more understanding. Then all of a sudden, I became more accepting. So, but I get what you were trying to say, though. No, you're good. You're good. Okay. I'm happy to. That's something I changed my mind on a couple years ago. I was probably in your spot as well. Three, about 3+ years ago, I'd say. Yeah. I started watching certain people here on TikTok actually who were very educated on the topic. Just give arguments that I could not refute at all, really, because I had my all my ideas, of course, that like even if you are on hormones for 2+ years, you still retain what you had in puberty, etc., and that's still going to give you an advantage. But I just got fed all, and these were all evidence-based rebuttals, right? Like they would provide studies after studies after studies, and I just couldn't really refute some of the things, so I more or less changed my mind. But it was a sort of a slow burn. It wasn't like an overnight thing, right? But I'll tell you more specifically. So when it comes to trans women playing in sports, right? Obviously, some people are against that because they believe it creates an advantage. Okay, a trans woman would be a is, mhm. So not converted, but they identify as a woman. But we can get to the terminology later. That's fine. But yes. Okay. Yeah. No. No, no, I think you're having a conversation in good faith here, so I'm not like gonna like attack. I think the times I attack people a bit is when they're saying these things not in good faith. So, but anyways, yes, it's someone who's typically born as a male who identifies as a woman. So yes, that's a trans woman, trans man, the opposite, of course. So, anyways, a trans woman playing with cis women, for example, right? I understand some people have an issue because they think obviously that number one, there's some people who think that that somebody can just identify as a trans woman and tomorrow play with cis women. And that's not the case. Like for example, I can't just say I'm a trans man and tomorrow play with cis women, and you know what I mean. Like that's not what the rules allow for. You have to be on hormone therapy for 2 years, feminizing hormones. Anyways, all the research shows after 2+ years that the statistical difference goes away in terms of the advantage, and it's within the statistical advantage that is within cis women. Meaning, there's a range of cis women that have advantages or disadvantages. Right, the strongest cis woman is going to be a hell of a lot stronger compared to the weakest cis women than any trans woman would be, right? Is what I'm trying to say. So they're within that statistical range. So these trans women are brought down to testosterone levels to that of double digits, right? So the other alternative is these people want them to play with men instead because they view them as men. Well, now you're asking someone who's on double digit testosterone levels, which is very low, to play with people that have 10 times the testosterone levels. And that's just not logistically reasonable. So it just doesn't make sense for trans women to play with men. It makes most sense for them to play with women, given those things. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, that is brought up sometimes. However, I don't think that's reasonable or just logistical because there's not enough trans women to make that the case. There just wouldn't be enough if we're talking about team sports. There may not even be enough for like two teams. So what are you gonna do there? You know? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I've heard some trans people say possibly in time. I'm not going to necessarily speak for the trans community. I don't. So some has said possibly in time that could be the case. However, I think a lot of people would view that as also segregation, though, in the fact that like you're segregating them from trans men or you're from other men and women, right? Which I think is a good argument as well. And I it is, and I personally just don't have a problem with trans men playing with men and trans women playing with women. Statistically, we don't see trans women coming in first place or quote unquote dominating at any higher of a percentage than cis women are quote unquote dominating. Meaning, like, you see the headlines of on occasion this trans woman or that trans woman coming in first. Sure, it happens, but out of all the trans people that play in sports versus the ones that come in first, it's no different of a percentage than out of all the cis women that play in sports and the cis women that come in first. It's no different. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to go back to the abortion topic for sure. And listen, I'm not saying that you specifically hate women or anybody else for that matter. I am saying the policies that are voted for, if somebody votes for Trump, upholds the harm and hate towards women. That's what I am saying. So I'm not saying from an individual aspect. I want to make that very clear. I don't know you as a person. I can't say whether you specifically are explicitly hateful towards women or not. Yeah, well, all right. So listen, when we're talking about being pro-choice versus pro-life, right? So we see that Roe v. Wade was obviously overturned. It was done by Republican judges. I think that is very harmful towards women. If you're taking away the right for a woman to choose, I think that's harmful towards women. Well, leaving it up to the states is effectively taking it away. Yeah. So like if you, for example, right, if slave, yeah, if slavery is brought back, sure. If slavery is brought back to the states, and most states don't decide to uphold slavery, but some states do. Yeah, it being taken away from a federal level would be taking away that, yeah, or the right to be free rather. So it going back to the states effectively makes that happen. Yeah. I think you're cutting out here a little, Buzzy. No, you're good. You're good now. You're good now. No, you're good. You're good now. Yeah, yeah. Well, your wife, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, talking through, agreed somewhat. There were some things we didn't, but there was definitely some agreement. I would say, more than I was expecting. Yeah. Okay. No, no, you're good. I don't think there's anybody else anyways. But guys, if you could keep tapping and sharing, that'd be great. Make sure you guys give me a follow. This is my backup, so if you follow me on main, follow me here. Pay links are right there in that reminder thing, so if you guys want, it'd be great to show support. You can set it to any of the three main payment things, but it's never needed. I do appreciate it. And also, if you guys could subscribe to the tube, okay? It's Dougielifts, and if you guys can watch on the second device there, that'd be great. Like whatever, all that stuff over there. Anyways, kids, yeah. So I would go back. This kind of goes back to the trans topic, the transgender topic, but in relation to gender affirming care for anybody under the age of 18. The research I've seen overwhelmingly shows that gender affirming care, which is an umbrella term, it's not just medication, not just surgeries. It could be something as simple as wearing clothes that makes them feel more comfortable, calling them the name makes them feel more comfortable, or therapy or something like that. Overwhelmingly lowers the rates of them ultimately self-unaliving themselves, but even prior to that, depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. So I would say when I hear Trump supporters say trans people could do whatever they want for gender affirming care, just leave kids out of it, well, I think that goes against the life of the kid, right? I mean, if they're going to unalive themselves more, yeah, well, that's kind of harmful to their life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think ultimately it's up to the doctor, though. It's not like it's not the doctor. Hold on, one second. Hold on one second. It's not the parent just deciding out of nowhere. It's really ultimately the doctor believing it's best based on their entire training and education that they've had, and then the parents agreeing, and of course the kid agreeing as well. Well, no, no, no. You do you you get the final say, but you don't get the first say. Meaning, like, if they don't have the, yeah, meaning if you don't have the diagnosis, you can't just say, "Hey, I want my kid to, get this or get that." I'm sorry, you're just not diagnosed with gender dysphoria. You can't. Yeah. So, anyways. Ooh, la, 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 I can't say those words. Can't say those names on TikTok. Hey! La, 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 la. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Cannot say all those names. You said like every single one you could. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay. Okay. You're okay. Yeah, no one's stopping you from doing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any books in particular you're talking about, or are you talking about books in general? I mean, it's gonna. Yeah. No, no, it's fine. You can go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you work in that field, so you can offer a better answer. Good. You there? It depends on yeah. I don't know all of the books that have been banned. I'm sure there's a bunch of books that obviously clearly I would say probably shouldn't have, but it depends on the books, right? But I don't know. I would have to look at the books. Right, that'd be an example when I think 100% should not be banned. Yeah, yeah, 1000%. Yeah. Um, Cat Catcher in the Rye, I think, might be one of them. Although I think that's always been spoken about being banned. But I think that one may be, which I think is silly. Also, I think that's a there's like I think there's like one thing in the book about like a I can't say the word here, a schmostitute, but you know, that's a classic book though. To Kill a Mockingbird is another one. It seems. Um, mm-hmm. To Kill a Mockingbird. Tammy, thank you for the gift. Thank you so much, Tammy. W Tammy in the comments. Sorry, man. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Hmm? All right. No, you're good. You're good. No worries, man. All right. Hey, appreciate you. Take care. All right. All right. Have a good one. All right. Hey guys, if you're joining live, click the follow button in the top left. Okay. All right, guys. A few things. Number one, I should be getting my main account back tomorrow. Two, more importantly, I am going to be having a scheduled lives moving forward in terms of like set times, set days. Okay, so it's not going to be any more of just me going live at random times. I'm going to be starting it next week. I did put the schedule up on my bio though, so if you guys are curious about when it's going to be, let me know if it's a little difficult to read. One person told me they were a little confused by it at first, but they ended up getting it. Well, I needed it because I'm really focused on trying to grow. Well, I was pushing it off for the longest time because of that, and I can never commit to something. But here's the deal: like, I am trying to grow this. I am trying to grow my YouTube account. Ooh, shit! Shouldn't have said that. The Tube account, whatever. I am trying to grow it, and having set times, it just makes it more suitable for people to actually want to show up and stuff like that. So, but yeah, guys, if you could please read my bio and make sure it makes sense, okay? It may look a tad bit confusing the moment you read it, but it should make sense when you just think about it a little bit more, hopefully. So if anybody has any issues with it, just let me know if it sounds weird. But anyways, it's Monday through Sunday at 7 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., and then Friday through Monday at noon. Yeah, it just there's different days, different times. It's not all like Monday through Friday at 8 type of thing. There's different days, different times. Might helpful to pin a video. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, Sue. And then on the title, just saying schedule lives or something. So yeah. But yeah, we do cover all time frames. So if you aren't able to catch certain ones, you can catch others. We got 8 a.m., 7 p.m., and noon. So we got pretty much all parts of the day covered. All right. None of those are going to be a seed oil one. Yeah, none. Those are all political ones. In fact, now that I think of it, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't think I can answer that. Yes, for sure. Peak selection. But it's very natural. You did cut out though. I don't know if you're still speaking. Oh, okay. Okay. Very. 1000%. All right, guys, I am looking for opposition, okay? So if you disagree with the context of the background, come on up, okay? But yeah, I just kind of randomly went live right now, so I don't really know if I'm going to be live for a long time. But yeah, again, guys, I am going to be starting my schedule on Monday, just so throughout the weekend, it's just going to be sort of random until that point, okay? So, and if you guys could please sub to me on the tube, all right? I am trying to sort of get that going. It's taking a little bit to kind of get it in the swing of things. For the past week and a half, 2 weeks, it took me, I kept having tech issues, so I'm really just sort of starting it now, day one, more or less. So hopefully we should be good from here. And I'm going to give the TikTok studio a real college try for a good couple weeks. And if I don't get the same viewer count I get on my phone, then I will, yes, I have a laptop, then I will go back to doing it on my phone and projecting it onto OBS to the tube from there. But yeah, I really want to give the TikTok studio a try. So we'll see how it goes for the next couple weeks. But again, guys, we're going to have lower views. Yes, actually, I do. Yes, speaking of that, and guys, well, no, good. Uh-huh. It's a lot of generations. That'll cover a long time. Yeah, Danny, I don't think that can happen. Hey, for the person that said they couldn't hear the guest early on the tube, can somebody please go now and see if Buzzy is able to be heard? All right, I really need to iron out all the kinks with this stuff before Monday. So let me know. So there's 2 people in. Did you guys all hear Buzzy speak? There's 2 people watching right now. Please tell me you all heard Buzzy speak. Let me know. Please. All right. But after I get that answer, I will. And guys, in between guests, I am going to start. We're going to start talking more political stuff. I can't, unfortunately, have just random conversations about things in between guests, guys, because we're going to lose tons of viewers that way. So we got to keep it towards politics for the most part. But I do want to start showing certain articles and showing different videos and things like that as relates to politics in between. Okay. Please, someone let me know if Buzzy was able to be heard. There's 2 people watching on YouTube. Now there's 1. Please let me know. Well, no one's answering me, so I don't like it. There was 2 people watching. Gabby, can you check? Gabby, can you check if Buzzy can be heard? On... Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry. Okay, I didn't see. She's talking right now, guys. She's talking right now. I'm going to go ahead and say no because she said say something, Buzzy, and that was as you were saying something. Alright, cool. Not hearing it. Why are people watching me on the tube if you can't hear her then? Alright, why are we getting mixed answers? Well, no, Sammy, we're talking about the tube, not here. On the tube, you guys can hear her? Guys, can you hear her now? Go ahead and... Can you guys hear her now, possibly? She's singing right now. Can you guys hear her now, maybe? There's no reason why she can't be heard, because everything is set up the way it should be. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Back to the drawing board is once again. Guys, I'm not asking if you hear here on TikTok, guys. I'm asking on TikTok, on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Once again. I'm gonna throw this laptop against the fucking wall. I don't got it. I've been trying to get this for the past week and a half, and I can't seem to get this down. It's been a little more than a minute. It's not that. I don't know. Can you guys still hear me? Could also just, it's not TikTok glitching. It's not TikTok glitching. What are the updated? What are they? Anything relevant? I heard you can't use code words anymore. Is that true? Yeah, I know. I saw that. Well, I will say the other day on a live, I was annoyed and said I'm gonna unalive myself, and then I got a 10-minute restriction for that. So, I don't know. Well, I want to listen. I don't know why they can't just tell us what we can say and can't say. Like, why do they have to make it a guessing game? Like, why make it a guessing game? Why can't you just fucking tell us? Like, there's no reason to not tell us. So they can censor anything they want. But what do they get out of censoring you if that is the case? I'm still trying to figure out this audio thing of why you're not being heard. Guys, was it always this way? Like, for anybody that watched when she first came on, were you able to hear her? Or was it, like, did it just happen? What's the issue? Like, I don't know why she can't be heard. Alright, there's 4 people watching. Can you hear her now? You want to say something real quick?
So I've got popcorn as a little snackety snack. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask?
Oh, no, I just changed the output of it, so they still probably wouldn't have heard that. You guys probably... Well, you guys did, but it's not the way it should be heard. because it came through my speakers on my laptop. But now TikTok probably heard a double voice, I would imagine. TikTok, you just heard a double, right? So YouTube just heard you because it came through my speaker, but I bet you TikTok just heard a double voice. Either way, I don't want this to be the settings because now it's only coming through the speakers. But I want to be able to hear. Okay, maybe it wasn't a double voice, but now these headphones aren't doing anything. What's the point of wearing headphones if it comes through the speaker? And I don't want to do this without using headphones. So she should still be heard even while me using headphones. So oh, wait, here. Maybe I can fix it. Okay. I gotta change it on my computer. I think that's probably it. So right now my output is this, but I'm confused. I'm confusing myself. The input should be this. Can you guys still hear me? Can you still hear me? Yeah? Okay. Alright. So the input should be this. The output should be... But the output should still be this. Like, you guys should still be able to hear with this. Okay, so you guys hear her and me here. What about on YouTube? Live appears to be frozen. I don't care about that right now. I'll stress about that later. No, I'm too stressed about that. I'm probably gonna have to ask Matt again. I don't know what the issue is. People heard everybody yesterday just fine. Didn't switch a single setting. I'm not gonna be able to do this moving forward. Like, if this keeps changing every single time I do this without me switching a single setting, I don't have the stress to be able to handle this every single day. There's literally nothing that I change. It's there's too many variations of settings for me to worry about and stress about. There's audio settings that I can set on TikTok Shop. There's audio settings that I can set on OBS. There's audio settings that I can set on the actual computer. And of those settings, there's like 4 or 5 in each. So we're talking about whatever 5 times 5 times 5 is, that many variations of things I have to sift through just to be able to figure out what the problem is. I mean, to be fair, I did have the same settings yesterday and things were fine. But, yeah. Now the live is frozen. The live's still frozen. Okay, that's just a you thing, Caitlin. Well, hold on. Now I switched the settings on the actual computer. Now I don't know why that's okay. All right, the out. I'm just confusing myself. Output. Should this be the output or input? Yeah, that is the input. I have that set as the input for sure. These are the it's called infinite earbuds. So these are the input. Then what would the output be? I have MacBook Pro. Well, this is what I'm looking on the computer settings right now. This is not the TikTok settings. This is the computer settings. So the output. Well, the output is what I'm hearing from you. I just want to be with. No, the output would still be this because I still want to hear her on this. Well, then no, because then what's going to happen is it's going to come through this, and then there's no point of me having the headphones on. Well, hold on one second. Microphone is input, headphones are output. Yeah, but the microphone's on here. The microphone's on here, so the microphone, the output and input, it's going to be the same device. Yeah, that's the computer setting. So that should be accurate. That shouldn't be any different. The output, well, to multi-output device, whatever that is. So that yeah, which would make sense. That would be going in here and coming out here. So go ahead and speak. Well, now if you're speaking now, I can't hear you. So I can't hear you. Well, now I should be able to hear you now. Good. Okay. Well,
Hi.
yeah. Okay. Now I hear you. But TikTok or YouTube probably will hear you, but that's only because it came through the actual.
But there's no echo. Before I could hear it. There's no echo. So I don't know that that would be happening.
Yeah.
There's no echo. There's
Well,
no
YouTube's
reverb,
gonna
no
be able to
echo.
hear
The
you
sound
now,
is
but
actually very clear.
I don't want to do this without using headphones, so I got to do this with headphones on because I don't want to just have go through my
You
computer.
actually.
I mean, I can adjust the volume. That's fine. Yeah, I know you guys can hear her, but I don't want to not use headphones. I think it's just a TikTok. I may just have to restart. All right, let me go back. So, okay, input and yeah. Now I hear you. We should be good. You should hear me now, and they should hear me now. Right? You hear me? Okay. Okay. Um, and then the settings on TikTok. The select choose the speaker to play the sounds of other creators. Yeah, also the earbuds, which would be this. That's so I can hear you on here. Okay. So I think I just may have to restart. That's probably all it is because everything else is exactly how it should be. OBS hasn't been touched. There's nothing that would be different over there. When she speaks, it comes through. So yeah, I hear you coming through. I hear it, or I see it lighting up. So I think probably it's just a restart issue. Probably. Yeah, it's just a reboot. Yeah, let me go ahead and try that real quickly. Let me reboot the computer. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a sec. Or no, actually a few minutes. All right, YouTube. I'll see you in a minute, or also a few minutes.